Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of something, the week of August 19th, I think. This week, you start off with this lone wolf card. It says, "Listen to your inner wolf and embrace your sacred nature that thirsts for freedom." You also have this enhanced illusions. It says, "See through the veil of illusion and have the courage to see things as they really are." So clearly, I will start with this, Aries. Like, a lot of people have had these cards of illusions and needing to see through illusions. Part of me thinks, we are getting to the end of the retrograde. I think retrogrades are a great time to see through anything that could be an illusion in your life, because again, you're revisiting something, or maybe you're clearing something up. So again, really, at this time, you could be gaining clarity on something. We have the Knight of Cups here, and the Knight of Cups could be you gaining clarity on your dream. The Knight of Cups kind of can represent a dream or some sort of dream or a goal or a wish that you want to accomplish. So, that could be where you are getting your clarity. I kind of feel that if something has been hard to get started, like sometimes I think we, come up with an idea and we want to start it, but we also don't get started on it. That could be where this clarity is coming from. And what do you know? We see a lot more action at the end of the reading. So you kind of go from this dreamy space. We even have the Queen of Cups here as well. And we go from this dreamy space to maybe more of this realistic space. And how do I stop this from from doing that? I have no clue, but hopefully that stops. But anyway, no one knows what I'm talking about. But you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is juggling, spinning plates. I do feel you are very busy right now, but I also feel that you are kind of like handling it and balancing it out very well. So I'm not too worried about the Two of Pentacles at all. I mean, the Two of Pentacles really isn't necessarily a bad card, but it can represent having a lot to do, spinning a lot of plates. So I do feel like you are busy. The Two of Pentacles is also a clue card to me, and I don't say this unless I intuitively feel it. So, I think that for some of you, this could represent a settlement. So again, not a traditional meaning for the Two of Pentacles, but sometimes the Two of Pentacles is a clue that you could be receiving a settlement, or you could be getting money back from something from the past. And I feel that's also a possibility with this Two of Pentacles. You have the Fool, so getting ready to start something or getting ready to take a leap of faith. I feel that you are loyal to something. There's this little dog right here, and the dog represents loyalty. And so I feel that if you were wondering, like, what am I going to take action on? I wouldn't even say just this week. Like, I feel for from now until the end of September, like the next 6 weeks, right? I think that there is something that you are loyal to. If you don't, like, sometimes I think we're confused about a direction we need to move in life, or what our next step should be, right? And I feel like this is saying that your next step will be something that you are loyal to. And what I mean by that is, I feel sometimes we do have like multiple ideas, but maybe there's one that we keep going back to. And, that's what I mean by loyal. It's like something is clearly like really in your heart, something is really connected to your soul even. And I feel like that's what the Queen of Cups is saying, but we're not there yet. You have the the Page of Swords, and too many queens showing up in this reading as well. But you have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords can represent curiosity or needing to get curious about something. We go up here, Queen of Pentacles to the Six of Wands, and this could represent you being curious about something that you're working on. He is kind of aiming over to where this card would be, this focus card and this fulfillment card. So this could say that this is standing out to me in your reading, and so it could say that you need to focus on more things that bring focus and fulfillment into your life. Or again, maybe there is just like one thing or one direction that you keep focusing on that could bring you fulfillment, and that's where your focus should be at this time. I would say, again, for whatever reason, I feel like the time frame for this reading is like the next 6 weeks from now until the end of September. You have the Ace of Swords with the Two of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is a victory and laser-like focus. So the Ace of Swords is about picking one thing and giving it all your time, effort, and attention. And I think that would be just a great thing for you. It's like sometimes in life, I think, it's like we'll be working on a project or whatever, but we're also thinking about love. We're thinking about, all these other things. And instead of like focusing on everything, I think it would be better for you to like focus in on one thing at a time. I don't know. That's what's popping into my head. So, I think like kind of being able to control your focus and not get distracted would be really important. With the Fool, you have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's like what you've been doing, it has been making you stronger. The Ten of Wands, he's carrying these 10 wands, and it is a burden. But I think the Ten of Wands personally is a good card. He's about to reach his home. He planted those wands. Those wands are his harvest, so they kind of represent a reward after a long journey, and he's about to reach his home. So he has almost completed his journey, and it's like you've been strengthened for a very long period of time, and now, I think it's time to focus that strength into like one big thing. It's like imagine if you've been weightlifting for many, many years, and it's like now it's time to step on stage at a whatever that's called, Golden Man or whatever it is, right? Some sort of body competition. It's like you've been working on yourself, and it's like now you're presenting the finished result, or you are about to present the finished result for all the work that you've been doing. That's really the feeling I get off the Ten of Wands. With the Page of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Again, a disappointment, and also this kind of confirms exactly what I just said. Four of Cups is about mixing together all these cups. I look at the Four of Cups as him, trying to manifest a cake, but he's disappointed because he's manifested the flour, the sugar, the eggs. He's manifested the ingredients, but now he needs to pop it into the oven and put it all together and bake that cake, right? So I think that's where you're at. Just like I said, it's like you've been working out for many, many years. I'm just using this as an example, of course, and it's like now you are ready to present the finished result, whatever it is. So maybe you're just at that time where to get the fulfillment that the Page of Swords is looking at here, you just need to mix everything together and pop it in the oven. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Seduction card. It says passion and romance await. You have the Knight of Cups, so that makes sense. You have this card. It says you are safe from harm as well. So if you're worried about getting hurt in a connection, I feel this is saying there's nothing to worry about. You are perfectly protected. You do have the Knight of Cups here. I kind of feel like either you are wondering what this person's intentions are, or this person is wondering what your intentions are. We go over to the Six of Wands here. Sorry to keep switching, but I have to show you that. So we go to that Six of Wands, and I feel like that either you are interested in a person or they're interested in you. The Six of Wands is a person who is coming back from a long journey, like Ten of Wands, and they are being celebrated for their success. So I'm not sure if it's you or this person, but it's almost like this person is showing up like when you've completed the race, if that makes sense. It's like this person is waiting at the finish line. And again, I'm not sure if it's you or them that feels this way, but that's the message I'm getting. So again, you might be meeting a person, and I don't really see this yet in the reading, but I just kind of I wouldn't be surprised to see more swords cards come out in this reading, because I feel like either you or this person might be a little bit skeptical at first, because it's like you're showing up, you might be showing up in this person's life when they've achieved a success. And sometimes I think that makes people nervous, because they're like, well, why is this person showing up now? It's like they just saw me become successful and now they're showing up, right? So I kind of get that feeling here. That might make sense to some of you. You have the Queen of Pentacles, and again, I think that your focus is on your finances just in general. This has come up for you in several of your past readings, that you are very focused on resourcefulness, or focused on building your finances or increasing your finances. There's this little rabbit here, and the rabbit can represent fertility and abundance. So I do feel you are entering into a very fertile time, especially if you are showing a finished result right here, Three of Pentacles. This is a card of showing your work. He has done a good job. It's a card of quality work as well, but he is showing the finished result to these people. So, again, I think the whole entire reading is talking about a finished result that you are getting. And again, some of you might still have a little bit of work to do, so don't be afraid to mix things together. Again, maybe you are having to do a little bit more work with that Four of Cups, or maybe you're having to get ready to step out on stage. That was kind of the feeling I get here. It's like, even when you think about those the bodybuilders or those bodybuilding competitions, it's like even they have to tan and do all this stuff before they step on stage, right? So it's like, and they have to learn how to pose, and so it's almost like that's what's popping into my head here. I wouldn't be surprised if one of you out there is about to step out on stage in a bodybuilding competition, because I've never I could care less, right? And but it's popping into my head. And what I would say here is that I feel like some of you are about to present the finished result. So that looks really, really good. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder, obviously. You could be presenting a project or something you've been working hard on. Here you go, a little bit of resistance here, Devil. Again, I think this is like, what are their intentions? Whether it's you at the finish line or it's them at the finish line that we're talking about here, it doesn't really matter. I think someone is wondering like what the other person's true intentions are. And so this person might be a little resistant at first, but intuitively, I really don't feel like it's that big of a deal. So I wouldn't even worry about it. I would just understand that if someone is, if you meet a person and they're like resistant, that could be the reason why. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. Yet I feel like someone could also be fearing having their heart broken again. The Queen of Pentacles has gotten to a certain place in her life where she is able to be resourceful. So again, it could be you. Really, it could be both people are trying to protect their resources from other people. and so that could be why I feel a little bit of resistance. And now that Three of Swords comes up, I'm kind of wondering if you do want love and you do meet a person, I'm wondering if both of you are a little bit resistant, maybe for different reasons, but, kind of like the same reason would be resourcefulness or resources. With the Three of Pentacles, I told you more Swords cards would show up. So you have two in this row just here. So you have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is like one person wanting to move forward more quickly than the other. So I feel for some of you, I would just be patient if you like this person, if you are meeting a person. For others, I feel like saying that sometimes like things will just, things will never be ready. At a certain point, you have to stop working on like a project or a business and you have to present it to the world. And sure, mistakes will be made, but you have this Three of Pentacles, and I feel like the whole first two rows, at least even really three rows with that Six of Wands, are saying it's time to present. It's time to put something out there. It's like, sure, you could keep going back over and like editing things or revisiting things or, redoing things, but at a certain point, something just has to be as ready as it's going to be. And I kind of get that feeling here. It's almost like, another example would be like if you're writing a book. It's like at a certain point, it's like whether it's perfect or not, you just have to hit publish, right? And I kind of get that feeling with the Knight of Swords. In your next row, for messages from your future self, you have this Focus card and this Fulfillment card. So there's clearly a lot of fulfillment coming in for you if you stay focused. The Page of Swords is focused on his curiosity, and we talked about how the Page of Swords is looking over at these two cards, and really there's nothing much to say because you have the Six of Wands, which is the victory or the win or being celebrated for your success. So I feel like you need to realize that, that you are going to be celebrated. One thing I will say is that I do feel there is a little bit of a heavy criticism energy going on, right? Just in general. So if you put something out into the world, you're going to receive criticism. If you might be criticizing yourself as well. And again, I feel like that's normal, but I also feel like saying, at a certain point, you just have to ignore it. People who are going to look for mistakes are going to look for mistakes because it makes them feel better, right? It's like when people love there are some people that love when, successful people make a mistake because it makes them feel like, this person doesn't even know grammar or whatever, so that proves that they're stupid, and it kind of gives them permission to do nothing with their life. So that's why people like to do that, right? And so I feel like this is saying you're always going to have those people criticizing things that you're doing, and the Six of Wands can represent criticism. This person right here is meant to look jealous on the Six of Wands, and they are kind of like jealous of his success. So I feel, again, if you're having success, just focus on the success. Focus on the people that are celebrating you. Don't worry about the people who are jealous of whatever you're doing. And again, people could be jealous of a connection as well. So if you are entering into a new connection, I would protect it from jealous people. You have the Page of Wands. I just feel this energy of like things being new, things being fresh in your life. I really am not getting any of the traditional Page of Wands energy on this Page of Wands. I think it's just saying that you're entering into like a fresh new environment, and this could be a result of something that you are completing. So for those of you that are completing something, this looks really good. With the Queen of Cups, I think you are very connected to your heart. We kind of talked about this earlier. We are definitely in a time of heart connection where we need to connect to our heart. I talk about it all the time because it's like literally it's the only thing we need to do is we just need to connect to our heart and not listen to the criticism. It's like your heart could be telling you to do something that like people in your life are saying like, oh, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Or, why would you move to Mongolia and live in on the plains of Mongolia and open a yak farm? Why would you do that? Right? And so people might be telling you you're crazy, but they aren't your heart, right? Your heart is your own. So I think that for a lot of you, you have that Three of Swords, which is saying you're like you could be healing your heart and doing whatever your heart is telling you to do. With the Six of Wands, yes, like I said, there are less people on the Three of Cups. There are only 3 people here. So again, I think that some of you might be shrinking your connections, or you might be really just focusing on the people who support your vision or your journey. And the Three Cups, they are celebrating harvest. So I feel like you are about to celebrate, you have fulfillment. You have all these cards that really represent celebrating a success. With the Page of Wands, you have the Fool, and the Fool is about taking a leap of faith again. So you have the Fool twice in this row. There is definitely a new, fresh beginning that you have created through whatever it is that you work on. With the Queen of Cups, you have the King of Wands. Yes, right here, divine counterparts. So I think you could be attracting, it's kind of interesting as well that I think you could be attracting a person where you see them one way, but like over time, I think that you end up kind of like getting to the core of, who this person is. This could be a person that presents themselves as a Queen of Cups, but they're really a King of Wands. Or maybe they present themselves as a King of Wands, but they're really a Queen of Cups. Or maybe they have a good mixture of both of those traits as well. I do feel like this will be a very passionate connection. Again, this could be like a concern for you because, having just the Queen of Wands with the Queen of Cups could represent steam, right? It could just say, like, you could be thinking like, oh, is this only going to be steamy? But there's really no kind of like substance to it, or is it going to be something that has more substance? And I think over time it will. So again, if you're meeting a connection, this could be good. One thing I forgot to say is that 3 queens is definitely jealousy. Three queens can represent gossip, jealousy, people talking about you. So again, that's why I was saying earlier that you should ignore those people. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card that says, what do you need to release? And you also have this blue moon that says, believe in the impossible. I feel like I say that to you a lot, Aries, so that you need to believe in the impossible, or you need to believe that you're much more capable than you realize and that you can accomplish something that seems impossible. So I would really go for it. You have the Four of Swords. I feel pretty good about this as well. Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering, which is perfect for Mercury retrograde. But the Four of Swords can also just say, like, I kind of feel like you're coming off of a period of resting, relaxing, recovering. At the beginning of the reading, I said with these 2 Wands cards at the end that it seems to me like you are much more getting to a place where you're much more motivated or taking action on things. And I kind of feel like you're getting up off of the tomb that is on the Four of Swords, and you are taking action. You have the Knight of Wands. I went through all of them before I said the right card, but you have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is about, kind of taking action, being spontaneous. I personally look at him as the true builder in the tarot. If he doesn't know how to do something, he builds it, whatever he needs. If he comes to a river and he needs to build a bridge across the river, he builds a bridge. So don't be afraid to build the bridge. The other thing is you have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands learns as she goes. So she would kind of like learn how to build the bridge and then build it with the Knight of Wands in the reading. So the Queen of Wands says you really don't need to know everything about your journey. You just have to get started, and you will figure things out along the way. Again, I definitely feel you could be attracting a divine counterpart here, so that looks really good. I can't make this up. With the Four of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups, so definitely love could be coming in for those of you that want it. The Four of Swords would say you've been waiting for a long time, and how funny is it that I said, like, someone is waiting at the finish line, right here. So I don't know, if I'm being honest, I really don't know if this is like a good or a bad thing because I see this in my head, right? Like mentally, I'm just going to tell you what I see is that like someone, whether it's you or them, is kind of like, why is this person showing up now that I have success? It's like they're a little skeptical. And so I would be patient if you are attracting like a successful person, or if you are the successful person, maybe you need to realize that, this person really has good intentions. And I kind of get the feeling that, it's like King and Queen of Wands would be equally yoked. It's like this person might be just as successful as you. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is about waking up to your purpose. So again, if you have been scattered, which we kind of said at the beginning of the reading, then I feel for a lot of you that you could be becoming more focused. The reading is definitely encouraging focus. And with the Queen of Wands, you have the Nine of Swords. It's like you're ending some sort of nightmare. Maybe you're getting something that you never thought you would have. You have that Believe in the Impossible card, right? And so I kind of feel with the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Swords is coming up in the good stuff. And in the good stuff, the Nine of Swords would say you're ending a negative cycle. But I kind of feel like you're getting something that you really just didn't believe you would ever have. You have the Ostentation card. This is the ability to tell the difference between something that's real and something that's fake. So I feel for a lot of you that you have learned how to tell, like you do have the intuitive knowledge, or, if you are meeting a person at the finish line, like I feel like this is saying, trust your intuition. Your intuition will tell you whether this person is real or fake. It's like maybe that's a concern. Maybe you're making a bunch of money, or maybe you've had some other sort of success in your life. And I think if you trust the evidence, you'll be perfectly fine. And obviously, I would say the same thing to this person. Now, you have this lust card, definitely a lusty connection. I actually feel like you could be meeting a person where you're wondering, like, is this person, are they not naughty enough, right? Are they going to be too vanilla? But I don't think so. I feel like you could be attracting a person who is not naughty. Funny enough, this is Venus and Aries, this card. And, Venus and Aries is all about, Venus and Aries partners, they typically adapt to whatever the person's desires are. So whatever your freaky desires are, this person will probably be totally into it, right? You have this riches card. Yes, we said finish line. We said abundance, all these things. So clearly you're about to step into a very abundant time. You have this inspiration card, all the wands cards. Whenever I have a bunch of wands cards in a reading, to me it says that you need to move closer to things that make you feel inspired, or you need to move towards your inspirations. So that's exactly what I would do. And finally, you have this fulfillment card. Yeah, a lot of fulfillment. We have 2 cards of fulfillment in this reading. So I would say it's more a finish line type of fulfillment, as in you're, completing something, you're getting to the finish line, you're reaching a finish line. It's like that is the type of fulfillment that I feel. But I love this reading for you here, Aries. This is really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.